I'm Steve Lopez, LA Times.
Lopez, L-O-P-E-Z?
Yeah.
Lopez. Los Angeles Times, Mr. Lopez.
What's your name?
Lopez. Nathaniel Anthony Ayers Jr., N-A-T-H-A-N-I-E-L-A-T-H-O-N-Y-A-Y-E-R-S-J-U-N-I-O-R.
The soloist tells the story of the meeting of an LA news columnist, Steve Lopez, being played by Robert Downey Jr., and a homeless man named Nathaniel Ayers, being played by Jamie Foxx. Lopez begins to have a desire to write a story about the homeless man and what it's like to live on the streets when he discovers that the man is psychotic, probably dealing with schizophrenia. We learn that Ayers attended Juilliard before having a breakdown his third year and began hearing voices. He ran away, becoming homeless and leaving his family to assume he was dead. The soloist, based on a true story, is an accurate portrayal of what it is like for people when the disease first comes out and how hard it is to deal with the disease. Lopez becomes a friend to Ayers, helping him get diagnosed and medicated in order to go on with life semi-normally. The movie is dedicated to showing not only what it is like to deal with a terrible disease, but how much support can help the people with the disease move on. The film portrays schizophrenia correctly in many ways. Nathaniel doesn't wake up one day with the disease. A series of events leads to it, ranging from him living in the basement of his house and an extreme closeness to his instruments. He grows into the paranoia and breaks the stress of college life at Juilliard. The filmmakers have his first meet Nathaniel by his music. Instead of feeding into the prejudices right away of what a schizophrenic person is like, they introduce him with the beauty of music, following up with the disheveled appearance of a psychotic homeless man. The movie takes care to show how his disease makes his life an emotional roller coaster. It does it through dysfunctional relationships, as shown with his sister and her belief that he is dead, lack of employment/career, dropping out of Juilliard even though he was extremely talented, and his constant wandering of the streets of LA, running into traffic madly, picking up cigarette butts. The movie also shows that he is dirty and crazy, but he is still able to remain human. They use this by showing his love and adoration for music. They show the disease doesn't make you inhumane, it just makes life more confusing. An example would be his constant muttering about Beethoven. A lot of times, movies portray people with schizophrenia as having visions and hallucinations, which is very Hollywoodized. In this movie, they stick to the facts and exemplify what the voices may sound like to people with the disease. The voice constantly tells them that people can hear his thoughts. The movie does very little wrong. When convincing Nathaniel to move into an apartment instead of being homeless, Mr. Lopez goes about this all the wrong way. He tries talking to Nathaniel like he would to any of his friends, which is exactly what you shouldn't do. Nathaniel can't process things the way normal people do, so he needs to be convinced in a different way. Instead of saying, "You can do it," over and over again, it would have been better for him to just say, "It'll be okay in the apartment, don't worry." And his fear was not being able to hear the outside world, so all that had to be done was just tell him he'd be able to still hear the city noise. The first fight also could have been avoided if he had just, instead of handing him the form over that says you are a definite schizophrenic, he could have explained exactly what it meant, leaving no room for wild assumptions. Convincing Nathaniel to take his medicine would have been easier if Mr. Lopez just told him it would make him play music better. This would have made it more appealing. So although all these are unrealistic ways of showing support by his friends, it is likely that normal people would have done the same exact thing Mr. Lopez did. People are uneducated and don't always know how to act around these kind of people.
This is about me having a schizophrenic mind.
It's legal jargon.
It says that I have a schizophrenic mind. I do not.
It doesn't mean anything.
Schizophrenic mind.
That's not what I think. Nathaniel, they try to put people in a...
I'm not going anywhere.
And the good news is it has nothing to do with anything.
I don't go where you say go, I go where I want to go. You don't put me away, Mr. Lopez. You don't put me away.
I'm not gonna... No. Yes, you don't.
The movie was based on a true story, and almost all of it was an accurate portrayal of the disease schizophrenia. Today, Nathaniel Ayers and Steve Lopez educate people about the disease with the hope that people will become more accepting of others. Ayers has also had the chance to play in front of Barack Obama, proving to all of it that the disease would not take away from his wonderful talent.
I like it. Mr. Ayers, I'm going to give your sister a ride to the hotel.
You don't have to call me that, Mr. Lopez.
I know. I want to. I should have been calling you that all along.
I said such terrible things to you, Mr. Lopez, and I hate myself for saying those things.
Sometimes friends piss each other off, right? It's part of the deal.
I couldn't imagine that you would want to be my friend after I said all those things.
Mr. Ayers, I'm honored to be your friend.